What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get straight into this video. I want to talk about 2 years into owning my Revel 2402T Racoma DTF printer. DTF printer by Racoma. DTF printer from Racoma, I should say. All right, and I'll get into why I say that a little later on in this video. All right, so initially when I got it, it was a big learning curve for me, and there were quite a few obstacles that I had to overcome, and quite a few things that I had to learn, and it was frustrating at first. One of the things that I had to learn was how to line the white print head up, the white with the color, because the printer prints color first and then it prints a white underbase, right? And sometimes when you do certain things, especially when the printer is new, when you change films and might change a print head or do, the white can get unaligned with the color. So that's the first thing that I had to really learn how to do good. And the best advice I can give you guys is, if you're in a situation when you have a large DTF printer like a 24-inch or bigger, use your cell phone and zoom in with your cell phone, and you can get those the print head aligned with the color a little bit better. Also, pay attention to the videos online and pay attention to each step when doing a print head alignment, because sometimes when the alignment goes slightly off, you can know exactly what step you need to go to and what thing you need to adjust, and it might just be a slight adjustment. Another thing I had to learn relative to alignment that was stressing me out: I would align the printer, I would go to print, and everything would appear to be fine when I did my print head adjustment and alignment, and then when I went to print, it would start to be misaligned. Now, I say that to say, one thing that nobody told me was, you have to make sure in the back of the printer, on the feeder, on the roll feeder, there's a switch. You have to make sure that switch is flicked on, because if it's not switched on, then the printer itself is actually pulling the film, causing it to get misaligned. When you flick that switch on, now the roll feeder actually feeds the film evenly into the printer so that it stays aligned. It took me months to learn this, and I have to admit, and I apologize if you were one of the people, but I was sending people slightly misaligned DTFs, sometimes more misaligned than other times, but that's something that I had to learn, something that nobody told me, and it was a tough lesson, because it was kind of stressful, because you know when you have something this big and you have a hefty investment that you put in, and you see people's businesses growing, and you're wondering, what am I doing wrong? Why is this happening to me? Why does this always happen to me when I get something? And what am I doing? How can I get this operation to run smoothly? So that's one thing that I had to learn, but I can say now that I never have that issue, and my print head and my color is aligned perfectly to the T right now, and it's been like that. And I switch out papers, switch out rolls, put in a new roll, and it still just stays aligned. I don't know whether you have to do it the first few times, or you have to get used to the actual printer and how to handle it so that it doesn't get misaligned, but I'll change print heads. I'll take the print head out and I'll clean the print head and I'll put it back in, and it'll still be aligned. So I don't really have any alignment issues at all anymore, now that I'm kind of seasoned in using this DTF printer. All right, another thing that I wish I knew is the DTF printer is just like the DTG printer, in a sense of, when I first got my DTG printer, they always mention, and you guys can attest to this in the comments, when you guys hear companies talking about DTF printers and DTG printers, they always talk about having the proper moisture in the room and stuff like that, and having the humidity is what they say. you got to maintain a humidity above this, and should be in between this. Guys, I really think they're saying this wrong, because maintaining humidity is kind of a foreign and difficult thing to the average person. But when I started putting my printer in a climate controlled area, which is, I guess, maintaining humidity, I had no issues. And the same thing with the DTG printer. The DTG printer, I say your DTG likes to be in a warm environment, right? Not hot, not too hot, but a warm environment. I'd say your DTF, the same thing, because in the winter time with my DTF printer, I keep a heater in the back of the printer, right where the roll feeder is. I keep a heater on the floor to keep that area warm, so my ink never clogs. My white print heads never clog up. I can go away for a week, 2 weeks, a week and a half. My print heads do not clog anymore. All right, so that's something I wish I knew. And right now I have a mini split on the wall over there, and it keeps this room right here at a nice like 74 degrees and no issues at all. I can leave, no issues. You guys have seen me, if you follow me on Instagram, I print with this thing constantly and don't have any issues. So to all the people online that are having other issues, maybe you might want to check out this video and see if anything that I say can help you out. All right, so something else that I learned. Okay, so film, you can waste a lot of film with a DTF printer, because when you start printing, there's several different ways you can do it. You can have a lead roll of film that comes from the roll at the end and goes all the way through the dryer and connects with the film coming out of the printer. And one thing that I wish I'd have known that should be recommended is, like, when doing HVAC, there's this like gold shiny tape that you can buy from Home Depot or for Lowe's, and that is an excellent heat tape to connect your film to, so that you don't have issues as far as wasting a whole lot of film. I have some in here, I can't find where it is, but I'll put a shot of it on the screen. It's like a silver tape that is good for repelling heat or whatever. It's like an industrial grade heat tape. So I would use that if I were you guys, to connect my film, my lead roll coming out of the dryer, and my roll going into the dryer and onto the end. And the reason why I recommend doing it like that is because on the dryer itself, it has a suction. And if you're using just a roll coming out of the printer going into the DTF, you can loop it around, put the powder in it, and you can use a suction to so it grabs onto the dryer and starts there. But if you have it looped all the way through, all the way to the end at the bottom half, a lot of you guys that don't have DTF printers have no idea what I'm talking about. If you use it that way and have it all the way through, you don't have to use the suction. You can just rely on the actual back wheel sucking the DTF film into the dryer and pulling it all the way through as your DTF prints print. And I like to do it that way because the DTF process runs quieter and the dryer gets very, very, very loud. All right. So something else that I wish I'd have known when not only using this printer but making videos about DTF printers in general. And I want you guys to listen to me closely when I say this. People make videos about the DTF printers, and they make videos saying the company that they bought the DTF printer from, right? They say, I bought this Racoma DTF printer and I would never buy this Racoma DTF printer again. When in fact, you can see me operating for 2 years and it works. But what you have to realize is Racoma and other companies, and I'm going to put this out there, I don't know this for a fact, but to the best of my knowledge, Racoma and other companies these are just rebranded printers. So even if you don't buy a Racoma printer, you're probably buying the same printer in another shell. All right, so you're probably buying the same printer in another shell, right? We all know the facts. All these DTF printers, right, the commercial brand, they all use the same print heads. That's a fact. I'm not making this up. They all use the same print heads. They all probably use the same print agitation system, stirring system. So there isn't much difference there isn't much different technology from printer to printer. So, you know, one might have 4 print heads, one might have 2 print heads, one might have, you know, 1 print head if you got the smaller one. But other than that, all the print heads, all the printers within the same class use the same type of technology on the inside. So you're not getting very much different when you say, oh, I'm gonna go buy this brand's printer versus that brand's printer, because most of the time they're probably the same or very, very, very similar DTF printers. I know this for a fact, guys, after being in this industry for a while. There's very, very few ones that are built on totally different platforms. But I will say that this one, I'm very, very pleased with it. It's been a few years now. I run my DTF business off of it, and it works just fine, and my clients are happy. And whenever I have issues, it's more like a film issue. Like recently I had a film issue where I got a bad batch of film that wasn't sticking, and as soon as I changed the film out, my DTF printer, my DTF prints went back to adhering fine. Had to replace a couple customers' orders, but hey, that's just the nature of the business, right? So yeah, I hope this video is helpful and you guys get something out of it, as far as, you know, some things that might make the process easier for you. Now, if I had to go back and do it again, I absolutely would choose this printer again, because like I said, where I'm sitting right now, it works flawlessly. I have no issues with it. I love the way it functions, and the only thing better than one Racoma 2402T is 2 Racoma 2402Ts, but I'm not gonna get another one because 1, I don't have the business, 2, I don't have the space, don't have enough business for it. Like you see in the background, this printer is off right now as I'm making this video, but it was on this morning, and I pumped out some nice orders, a nice amount of dollars worth of orders using this 2402T, and it pumps it out fast, pumps it out very, very fast. So I'm very pleased with it overall now that I'm over the initial hurdles that I went through. Some people, you know, might make videos prematurely, or some people might make videos and talk about it when and blame the company, whereas though it's just like embroidery machines, guys, just like anything else, just like sublimation printers, just like anything else. If you don't know, if you're new to the technology and you haven't taken a chance to learn it, then you shouldn't really be advising people on whether it's good or bad. You can advise on your experience so far, but until you got like a year in, you're still learning stuff about DTF. Like, I'm still learning stuff about DTF right now. There is one thing about the software that I wish that they would do better at. So when you get a DTF file, you have to process the file before you can send the file to print. And if you have a large file, like a big gang sheet, it can take quite some time for that file to process. So I wish there was a way that you can take that file, and maybe they had 2 licenses, so you can be processing 2 files at the same time to speed up your process, because that I find always holds me up. Processing files, processing the .prt files to be printed, and that's the one bottleneck, time-consuming part of DTF printing that you cannot avoid, right? So yeah, that's the only thing that I have. It's not a regret, it's just something that you have to deal with no matter what DTF printer I think you have. As far as when you get up to 24 inches or bigger, they all pretty much use the same software. So like I said, pretty much the same internal parts, pretty much the same software. So when somebody says I don't like this specific printer, it's such a loaded question, like, you know, because, and it's such a loaded thing, because like I said, a lot of them have the same internal parts. So it's now that I understand that, after looking around and seeing what other companies and other areas have available, I understand that. And looking inside the printer, swapping out parts initially inside the printer, I made videos about that. And it's relatively easy. And inside the DTF printer, there's not that many components in it. It looks big, bulky, and intimidating, but there's not that many components to it at all. It's easy to swap stuff out. It's once you understand how things work, it's easy to change a hose. It's easy to change a print head. I actually take my print heads out, clean them, take them apart. That took me a while, along with bravery, to learn. So I've been on the same print heads now for over a year, and they still print crazy nice. And I have 2 new print heads ready to go in case these ones ever go bad. But when these print heads start printing kind of like dull a little bit, or start looking a little clogged, I take them out and I clean them really good, and they get running again. Now, how do I clean them? That's a whole different process, whole different can of worms. I can't sit here and tell you how I do it, because you have to be very, very careful. It's very, very intricate, and you have to know what you're doing. And it took me some while and a few messed up print heads to learn how to clean it effectively, with confidence, and actually not mess up the print head. All right, so yeah, hope this video helps a few people. Thank you so much for watching. Use my Racoma Revel2402T affiliate link down in the description below if you want to get into one of these. Just like anything else, it is a learning curve machine, because you have to learn the nuances of it. And the main nuance, I would say, is temperature controlled environment, about 74 degrees in your room at all times, and you should be good to go, guys. You should be good to go. All right, talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.